dropshipping has officially split into two lanes. In one lane is the sellers, probably you, merging into the never-ending loop of chasing random products, testing ads with zero engagement, and pouring so much time and money into products that never even take off. Then there's the other lane, sellers who have fully adapted to what dropshipping actually is today. They're using AI to research, build ads, and scale faster than ever before, hitting 5K, 10K, and even 100K months. Not because they're lucky or have more experience, but because they've evolved with the game that dropshipping has become. Listen, I recently just took a brand new dropshipping store from zero to generating over $100,000 in less than 30 days. And if you give me just 16 minutes, I'm gonna break down the 5-step roadmap that I use to get these results and what will get you out of that loop so you can finally switch lanes and start driving on the side that actually wins. And it all starts with step 1, validating your products. So let me ask you this. How many times have you picked a product just because you liked it? Maybe you saw it and it looked cool. Maybe you thought it would blow up, but it just never did. A lot of beginners fall into this trap right here, where they pick a product that they're personally passionate about, something that they probably like or something they buy themselves, and then they convince themselves that that means it's going to sell. And look, I get it. It's not a bad thing to have a personal interest in what you're selling. Yes, you should have some connection to it. I mean, that's how you're really gonna get the feel for why someone might want it in the first place. But here's the harsh truth. The market does not care what you like. It only cares about what's already proven to sell. So your opinion can start the search, but data has to make that final decision. So now the question is, well then, how do I put myself in the position to understand or trust the direction that data is telling me to move in? Well, the answer is honestly a lot simpler than you would think. But most people hear data and just immediately overcomplicate it, when really, it's just proof of engagement behind a product. And right now, the AI-powered algorithm behind TikTok makes finding that proof faster than ever before. Look, TikTok isn't just a social media platform anymore. It's a living marketplace powered by algorithms that literally show you what people are buying, sharing, and talking about in real time. That way, you already know which ones are creating real excitement and which ones are being ignored. So when you open the app and you start seeing the same product over and over again from different creators, that's not random. That's the algorithm pushing proof of demand right in front of you, and you need to listen to what it's saying. So here's the play. Next time that you're sitting there scrolling on your phone, don't just sit there and take notes when you see a winning product. Instead, you have to engage. So you need to like the videos, comment on them, and even share them with friends and family. That's how you start to train your feed to start feeding you more products with that same kind of engagement. And almost right away, I promise you, you'll start to see patterns where you start to notice products from completely different niches showing up with that same spark. Videos pulling in consistent views, strong comments, and multiple creators across the platform jumping on them. That's TikTok recognizing demand and just pushing it straight to you. And honestly, within 20 to 30 minutes, you'll have 3 to 5 data-backed products with actual proof, not guesses. But listen, the real difference in 2026 that's gonna make it one of your best years yet is not ignoring what I just told you and really putting the time into utilizing the algorithms. Because these algorithms, they are now on the side of sellers as TikTok wants to push products that people will buy so that they're spending more time and money on their platform. And let me tell you one thing, if you're one of the first people to take one of these products that are going crazy over on the TikTok side to the Facebook side, especially with the new strategy I'm about to reveal to you, nothing will stop you. That means quicker wins than you could ever have had in 2025, as long as you follow this 3-question framework when you're choosing the products that you're gonna test from the ones that are now loaded on your For You page. So first off, is there proof of engagement? You need to be looking for products that are appearing across multiple creators with consistent views, likes, and comments. Repetition is the algorithm telling you that demand exists, and you need to listen to the algorithm. Second is, does it solve a problem or spark desire? Products that address a pain point, make life easier, or drive an emotion will always convert better than something random. And third and lastly, is it scalable? You wanna always make sure that the products appeal to a broad audience, as you don't want one-off trends that can't sustain a business. So by using this framework, you'll know exactly which products to test and why they're likely to perform well, which is why 2026 can easily become your best year in dropshipping. And don't worry, we will be getting into what you can actually do with those 3 to 5 products in the final step, where everything we're talking about will tie together and you're finally merging into that winning lane. But remember, this is a roadmap, where right now you are 1 step closer to switching lanes for good, but you can't reach that final destination without fueling up throughout these next 2 steps. So here's what I want you to think about. Why is it that 2 people can sell the exact same product, but only one can actually make money? Well, step 2 is where we find that answer, by finding the ads that already work and using them to fuel your own. And listen, here's the best part right now, is that you've already started. And when you were scrolling TikTok to validate products, you were also collecting ad angles without even realizing it. So all those videos that you're seeing that keep showing up, those are your examples of what the algorithm is rewarding right now. And your goal now is to find 3 to 5 different angles for each product. Look, every single product has multiple types of buyers, and each one cares about something completely different. For example, let's say that you're selling a portable blender. You've got health-focused buyers, students, people who love to travel, and each one of these need a different emotion behind the ad. Where health-focused buyers might want something that makes their meal preps easier and less messy. Students want something that they can use on the go. Where travelers want something small, reliable, and easy to throw in a bag. So each one of these audiences and their emotions, it gives you a new way to position the same product. Then once you've got those examples, you can use AI tools like InVideo to then turn those ideas into fresh ad variations, where you can change the script, the pacing, the voiceover, even the visuals, all in minutes, without any editing skills or background whatsoever. So the goal here is output. It's just plain and simple. You want enough clean variations that you never run out of ads, you never run out of angles, and you can pivot instantly the second something stops working. Where you need to understand that the goal right from the start, it's not about making the perfect ad right now. Actually, perfection is the enemy of progress. What really matters is getting ads out there fast, testing them, and figuring out which ones actually have the power to scale. I want you to think of it like throwing a few lines into a pond. You see which ones catch, and then you just double down on what works. Now, when we're talking about your ads in 2026, there are a few game-changing shifts that you need to be aware of, things that make this year completely different from 2025. First, those opening 3 seconds of your ad, they are everything to your success. We all know attention spans have never been shorter. So if you don't grab someone's attention immediately, you have already lost them as a potential consumer. So the goal here is you have to hook them before they even know what is happening. Second is you have to make your ads feel less like ads. So stop selling features and start selling emotion. Tell a story, show a result, make someone feel something real. Emotion is what drives action faster than anything else ever will. But the biggest thing for 2026 is that AI isn't just a tool anymore. It's like having a creative team that never sleeps, where you can bring almost any idea to life, test it instantly, and see what resonates. You don't have to just copy ad formats from 2025 anymore. You can use tools that create hooks, edits, and unforgettable moments that make your brand stand out. And when you start producing at that level of volume and clarity, that's when the data starts really speaking to you. So the more options and angles that you get under each product, the better. All right, so now that you got your products validated and your ad angles are cooking, it is time to build a foundation that everything sits on. Because look, in 2026, buyers decide in seconds whether they trust you or they don't. And this is where step 3 changes everything. This is where we build a store that feels clean, modern, and believable, without you needing design skills, a developer, or weeks of trial and error. And I'm gonna show you the exact shortcut that I've been using all year long. All right, so first off, all you need to do is click the link down in my description below, and that's gonna take you straight to this free AI store builder. Once you're here, go ahead and hit build my free store, and then you're gonna land on this screen right here. Now just go ahead and enter your first name, email, and password. Click next. Now what you're gonna do is just go ahead and choose your niche. As you can see, there's fashion, pets, electronics, home, sports, or if you really don't know yet, you can just go ahead and click I'm not sure. And if you click that I'm not sure, it will still build you a fully customized store using one of these categories. And honestly, it really doesn't even matter which one you pick right now. Because when it comes to picking your niche, this isn't something you have to lock in right away. The real decision gets made once we complete the final step, and you'll see exactly why when we get there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and choose fashion and apparel, hit done, and then now it's just a few quick setup questions. And then the builder's gonna start generating your store instantly. So why is this step 3? Well, because right now, you're building the customer experience that makes everything that you did in step 1 and step 2 worth it. A clean store, clear branding, a fast setup. This is what makes a beginner feel like they've been doing this for years. And when you put this type of structure behind your ads, you're gonna stop hoping something works and you'll start stacking real results. Because the truth is, a strong store doesn't just look better. It converts higher, it gives the algorithm more confidence, it makes your customers trust you, it even removes friction before the sale ever even happens. And when you combine all of that, you're no longer guessing. You are officially building. And now heading to step 4, this is the part that nobody wants to talk about. But it's the difference between a store that scales and a store that collapses the second things get good. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Here's the thing about suppliers in 2026, and I already gave you my solution. But if you decide to go out there and you look on your own, then I need you to listen closely. If you wanna not just survive, but thrive this year, you need a supplier that actually works for you and not against you. So first off, think warehouses. Tariffs are always shifting. And if your supplier doesn't have options in the US, you could get stuck paying way more or waiting way longer than your customers expect. This is why you need flexibility and you need control. Second, make sure that they have the product in stock. You might not realize this, but a lot of suppliers in 2025 were basically dropshipping your dropshipping products. That's why shipping times are coming out to like 30 days. Not because they were slacking, but because they were literally buying your product from another supplier first, which is a slow motion disaster for your business. And third, your supplier has to be able to scale with you. Your first viral product shouldn't hit a bottleneck because your supplier can't keep up. You need someone who can grow with you, so every order, every customer, and every sale happens smoothly. You get these 3 things right, and your fulfillment isn't chaos anymore. It becomes the engine that drives your growth. And look, I'm telling you right now, if you get behind that mindset and the strategy shifts that I just gave you surrounding your product, ad, store, and supplier, and you tie that into this absolute game-changing testing strategy you're about to get, 2026 will 100% be your best year in dropshipping. Which brings us to the most important step in this entire process. Everything that you've done up to this point has been setting the table for this moment. Step 1 gave you proof of demand. Step 2 gave you the ads to fuel it. Step 3 gave you the platform to create a high quality customer experience. Step 4 made sure that your backend wouldn't break. These second things took off. And step 5, this is where all this comes together. Everything before this was building the machine. The validation, the creatives, the systems, all gears working together. Now is the time to turn the key, hit the ignition, and see which product and creative angle actually runs and gets you out the mud. Look, most beginners, they end up testing one product, one ad, wait around for a week, and then it ends up flopping, and then they're right back at square zero. That's that loop. But what you're about to do next is the complete opposite. Step 5 is where we finally put all of that proof into motion with what I call the prospect spin test. Instead of dragging this out for weeks, this one test tells you, and tells you fast, which product deserves your time, your focus, and your spin. Look, with the way that Meta has advanced with AI, this test matters more now than it ever has before. The algorithm isn't slowly warming up anymore. It's reacting instantly to whatever you feed it. So if you only test one product or one angle at a time, you're giving Meta nothing to work with. No contrast, no patterns, and no real signals to learn from. Because when you launch multiple validated products and angles inside structured, clean campaigns, you're finally giving the system what it wants. Options to compare, angles to sort through, and clear data that it can lock into fast. So the more data and info you're given inside this test, the faster that it figures out which product actually has momentum, and the faster that you get out of the guessing game. So let me go and show you what this looks like when setting up. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and name this campaign something like Prospect CBO. Now I'm gonna go ahead and select sales and set a daily budget to start, something like $25 to $50, which is ultimately gonna give Meta just enough room to learn without you having to overspend. We wanna go ahead and keep the targeting broad, and then right here, we wanna optimize for purchase. This is important because although this is technically just a test, we don't want it to stop us from getting an actual sale. And then right here, this is where we're gonna go ahead and load 3 to 5 creatives under each product. And these creatives should be all around the avatars and the different angles of the product that you mapped out earlier. So just go ahead and upload these and then drop those versions in and then go ahead and hit publish. And that's it. Now within a day or two, the signal should be clear, meaning that you have one product and one angle that is completely separating itself from the rest. And I wanna make it clear you're looking for the ones that are actually converting, not the one that's just getting the cheapest clicks. So for beginners, let me simplify this down so that you know exactly how to read this signal. Starting off with the first and probably most important thing is purchases. If you have one product that gets even one purchase and is profitable while the others don't, that's your front runner. Purchases are gonna be more important than everything. Now second is a strong click-through rate. So if you don't have purchases yet, which is also normal, you wanna look for the product with the highest click-through rate. Usually anything above 2.5% on Facebook means that the angle is resonating. The third is through stable CPMs. CPMs, or cost per 1,000 impressions, is just what Facebook charges you to get your ad in front of people. So when your angle and product is strong, Facebook can find buyers easier, so the cost ends up staying low. But when that angle is weak, Facebook has to work harder, so obviously the costs are going to climb. So when you're looking at your data and you see that your CPMs are between like $10 and $20 or less, and your click-through rate is high, that's the algorithm telling you that people are resonating with this, so you should just continuously keep going. And when I say that the signal should be clear, this is exactly what I mean. So if we take a look right here at my own prospect test, you can even see for me, it was Pack 4, the mouth tape, that is pulling the first 4 purchases. And the others, crickets. So that right there was my cue. So my next move here wasn't just to sprinkle more budget across everything. It was to promote the winner. So to do that, all you gotta do is duplicate the winning ad set into its own fresh CBO. Starting a brand new campaign, still optimizing for purchase and set up the same way as before, but now we're feeding it even more ads to work with. Dropping in 5 or 6 fresh creatives that are all built from the winning ad that pulled those first 4 sales. Then from here, I'll just go ahead and bump this daily budget to $75 or even $100 if I want to get results faster, which obviously we all want to do. So this is where a tiny bit of discipline saves you a lot of money. Because if you give the initial prospecting CBO a fair shot, in just 2 days, you're gonna have plenty enough information to see which direction you should go, not waiting around for 2 weeks like people were doing years ago. That's why this spin test, this is your exit lane. Everything before this was chaos, guessing, hoping, and praying. But the second that this test runs and you spot your winner, this is when you're finally out of that cycle. Because now, the data drives your decisions, not assumption. This is the moment that most beginners never reach. The point where everything starts feeling calm, predictable, and repeatable. Where you got your product, your proof, and your systems. From here on out, it is not about getting in the other lane anymore. It's about staying there. And the way that you stay there is by scaling the right way. Not with guesswork, but with structure. Now, with that being said, before we wrap this up, if you want something simple that you can keep on your desk as you start building this out, I made you a free cheat sheet that breaks down every single thing that I covered inside this video. It's literally the same checklist that I use when I'm validating products, picking creatives, and running that first prospect test. So this free document will keep you organized so you don't miss out on anything. And you can grab it right below this video inside of the description. So make sure to go ahead and download it and keep it open while you watch my next video where I created a dropshipping store in 1 hour and I made over $107,000 in 24 days. Where I walk you through the exact scaling process where I took the same system that we covered today and I push it to 6 figures, step by step. So if you're serious about taking this momentum and actually turning it into results, then that is going to be your next stop. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in that next video. This is AC with Supreme Ecom, and I'm out.